Hello everyone, welcome to Factard and welcome to a new series of videos. Today we are discussing about the result of Ascendant Lord in 12 houses. Before we start, for people who are new to Vedic Astrology, it is important to know what is Ascendant and how to check who is Ascendant Lord. This is called a birth chart as per Vedic Astrology. There are hundreds of free apps where you can get such chart for free if you know your date, time and place of birth. Birth chart has 12 houses. Each box you see is dedicated to one zodiac sign and hence 12 boxes for 12 zodiac signs. This is always the first house, which is also known as ascendant or rising sign. Common confusion is first house, that is ascendant or rising sign, is considered as Aries, the first zodiac sign, which is incorrect. To make you understand, I will pick two examples. Now let's give a random time, date and my current location. In this chart, this is the first house, also called as ascendant or rising sign, as mentioned earlier. For individual who is born on 12th Jan 2022 at the time 5:11 in the evening in Krakow, Cancer will be his or her first house, Leo will be the second, Virgo will be the third and so on. Each house is ruled by different planets as shown in this chart. I recommend you to pause the video and save this for future reference in case you are not familiar with the lord of each zodiac sign. Cancer is the first house in this birth chart, which is ruled by moon and hence moon is the first house lord or ascendant lord. If you see first house lord moon is located in 11th house in the sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. Similarly, here is another example for a random date of an individual born on 1st April 2000 at 7:50 in the evening in Krakow. In this chart, Libra will be the first house or ascendant. Libra is ruled by Venus and hence Venus will be the first house lord or ascendant lord in this chart, which is located in 5th house. Now that you know how to identify your first house lord or ascendant lord, let's discuss what is the meaning of ascendant lord placed in 12 different houses. Before we start, I would like to mention first house, 5th house and 9th house are most significant, powerful and important houses in Vedic astrology. These houses are called Trikona, meaning triangle. First, 4th, 7th and 10th houses are second most significant houses known as Kendra, meaning square in Vedic astrology. Especially the first house and its energy is the most important of all. First house lord in first house. Your ascendant lord placed in ascendant itself is a very good placement. According to Vedic astrology, there are 4 ultimate goals of human life. Artha, meaning prosperity and economic values. Kama means sensual pleasure. Dharma means righteousness and morality. And moksha, meaning liberation from cycle of incarnation. A person with first lord in first house will be blessed with all these. Such a person will consistently put efforts to be effective in uplifting himself or herself into a better and better of everything. Whether it is about physical fitness, mental peace or his bank balance, any negative aspect from other planets will reduce the positivity bestowed with such a placement. First house lord in second house. Second house denotes wealth, family wealth, voice, culture, food and more. Now when you have first house lord placed in second house, the main focus of your life will be about how to accumulate wealth, and depending on the fact that there is no negative aspect from other planets, you will find success in accumulation of wealth. You might be naturally interested or attracted to learn many languages, interested in cooking. You will be blessed with great speaking abilities. Any negative aspect to the second house from other planets will reduce the positivity, or if second house belongs to the enemy of the first house lord, it can create problems in mentioned areas. First house lord in third house. A person with first house lord placed in third house will not put any effort in his life without a reason. Such a person is well focused about his needs and puts required efforts effectively. Such a person will not waste his efforts in wrong place and wrong time. Such a person will have close relationship with his or her siblings, will have great networking skills. Any aspect on third house from other planets will reduce the positivity, or if third house belongs to enemy of the first house lord, it can create problems in mentioned areas. First house lord in fourth house. First house and fourth house are Kendra houses. So here Kendra lord is placed in another Kendra house, which is a very good placement. Fourth house is known as the throne. Fourth house is our home that we live in. It is our territory. I can say without a doubt that a person with first house lord in fourth house without any negative aspect from other planets is born with comforts. Now I have personally spoken to some people with such placement who didn't agree with my statement. That's because the individual had high expectations and was not satisfied, which is the result of other planetary placements. But rest assured, first house lord placed in fourth house with no negative aspects is blessed with comforts since birth. Such a placement can also bring prosperity to the family after the person is born. There will be strong influence in such person's life from his or her mother in many aspects. Person with first house lord placed in fourth house with no negative aspects will never fall short of house, vehicle and other comforts. Any negative aspect to the fourth house from other planets will reduce the positivity, or if fourth house belongs to enemy of the first house lord, it can create problems in mentioned areas. However, the positivity of Kendra lord placed in another Kendra house is powerful and will still exist. First house lord in fifth house. Fifth house denotes children. Person with such placement will be very focused parent. Such a person will spend time and energy for betterment of his or her children. Now you can say any parent will do this, but such person stands out in dedication towards their children. Fifth house also denotes creativity, expression. Such a person is well prepared before he speaks out, and people like to listen to such person speaking about any topic. First house lord in sixth house. Sixth house denotes enemy, disease, deaths. This house is like a war field. If the first house lord is well placed in sixth house, meaning no negative aspects from other planets, or sixth house belongs to the friendly planet. For example, for Taurus Ascendant, Venus will be the first house lord and sixth house will be Libra, which is again owned by Venus. In this case, first house lord is placed in sixth house, which is again its own house. Such a person will not have any enemy, deaths or major diseases. Even if there are any, such person will be victorious without any doubt. Strong sixth house is an indication of successful lawyers and surgeons. If first house lord is strongly placed in sixth house, you will be victorious in the matters related to enemy, disease, deaths. First house lord in seventh house. First house and seventh house are Kendra houses. So here again Kendra lord is placed in another Kendra house, which is a very good placement. Seventh house denotes marriage, spouse, business partnership. However, such a person will enjoy self-companionship, which can create problems in married life. In many scenarios, such person would like to avoid marriage. Such person can have affairs, relationships, but can stay away from marriage. Otherwise, this placement is excellent in terms of assets, career. Seventh house is fourth from fourth house and 10th from 10th house. Such a person can be blessed with big assets, big business, big cars, mostly self-made. Such a person will not like interference from others in his life. First house lord in 8th house. 8th house is known as most difficult and mysterious house. Well placed first house lord in 8th house increases longevity, interest in research related things, interest in occult science. Well placed first house lord in 8th house can bring inheritance property. On the other hand, weak first house lord placed in 8th house can make the person secretive in extreme situations. Such person can get involved in criminal activities. First house lord in 9th house. 9th house denotes our destiny, luck, father, traveling, higher education, and more. Well placed first house lord in 9th house indicates such a person will have high regards to his family, especially father, will be blessed with a lot of foreign traveling, interested in spirituality, high chances of traveling for higher education. Also, such person can be very knowledgeable. First house lord in 10th house. First, 5th and 9th houses are Trikona houses as mentioned earlier. Out of these three, first house is known as the biggest of all Trikona houses. First, 4th, 7th and 10th are Kendra houses, and 10th house is known as the biggest of all Kendra houses. Now these two biggest of Trikona and Kendra houses come together as a combination. It can create wonders in your life, especially if it is well placed. Meaning, if first house lord and 10th house lords are friends and there is no negative aspect from other planets upon the 10th house, this combination can lead the person to highly recognizable position irrespective of his profession. Such a person will reach heights in terms of recognition in his profession and will be a master in his or her field of career. Without a doubt, well placed first house lord in 10th house should have brought major progress in father's career after the birth of such person. Such person will have high self-esteem. To sum up, first house lord in 10th house is the best position. First house lord in 11th house. Here the entire energy of your life will be used on developing your career, and how to earn more will be the main motto of your life. All your activities, directly or indirectly, will be focused on how to earn more. You will reap more benefits compared to your efforts, but all this is only if first house lord is well placed in 11th house. First house lord placed in 11th house will also increase longevity of the person. First house lord in 12th house. 12th house is a house where we can say there are no doors, it's an open house. Person with first house lord placed in 12th house will always desire to stay in foreign countries or away from his or her birthplace, or will find peace of mind away from his or her birthplace. Such a person can be blessed with good traveling opportunities. On the negative side, you will not be able to grow your savings due to unwanted expenditure. First house lord placed in 12th house along with certain other planetary combinations can also lead to high sexual energy. First house lord placed in 6th, 8th or 12th house requires detailed analysis for various reasons, and such a combination cannot be explained with general examples. All examples provided in this video are generalized, assuming first house lord is sitting alone in a specific house and is not aspected by other planets, positive or negative. In astrology, nothing can be concluded or ascertained in isolation, meaning just because of the fact that first house lord is in X house, we cannot say it's a positive or negative. There are many parameters that has to be looked into, hence please do not conclude anything just by one fact and be confident or other way around. I hope this video was informative. Thank you for watching till now. Until next time.